Hello students, in the previous class we have studied characteristic of organism. Along with that we studied taxonomy. So now we are going to deal with nomenclature in detail. So let's start with it. Nomenclature, as the name suggests, it deals with the naming of organism. It deals with providing name to the organism. So first of all, we will write the definition for nomenclature. Providing specific, distinguishing name for each and every organism. For each and every organism is nomenclature. Now, under the nomenclature, we are going to study two types of the names. One is vernacular and another one is scientific name. So, two types of name we will deal here. Vernacular and scientific names. First of all, let's discuss this vernacular one. Vernacular names, they are local names. They are given by the local people in their local language. So they are common names. They are common names given by local people. Given by local people in their local language. So these names, they are not given by the scientists, they are not given by the biologists, they are given by the local people inhabiting an area. Now the vernacular names, they are having several drawbacks. Yes, several drawbacks they are posed by the vernacular names. Here we are going to discuss few of them. What are the lacunas? What are the drawbacks associated with it? One, vernacular name, common names, they are not available, they are not provided for each and every organism. Not provided to each and every organism known to man. Secondly, these vernacular names, they cannot be utilized in communication amongst the scientists of different areas in our country. Yes, cannot be utilized in communication among the scientists of different areas in our country. Now, why it is so? Because in the different area, the name which is given to the organism, that name is different. So, name they are different, that's why it cannot be utilized. They cannot be utilized for the communication. To explain this, we can cite one example here. Example is rose. In Hindi, rose is known as gulab. In Bangla, it is known as golab. And in Tamil, it is known as rajopa. So it means one plant, but it is going to have so many different names. In the different areas, the name which is given to the plant, these names, they are different. The names, they are different. That's why they are going to create lot of confusion. So that's why these names, they are non-universal. They are non-applicable universally. Non-universal. Now looking into the drawbacks of vernacular name, there comes the needs of names which are based upon agreed principles and criteria. So looking into this lacuna, now the names, they are given on the basis of certain principles, certain rules, certain criteria, and this category of names, they are known as scientific names. So let's try to understand these one. So now the scientific names. Scientific names, now they are not given by common people. These names, now they are given by biologists. They are given by scientists. These names, they are based upon agreed principles, rules, criteria. That's why now these names, they are universally acceptable. So scientific names, now they are given by biologists. They are based upon agreed rules and criteria. Rules and criteria, that's why now these names, they are universally applicable. Now we have to deal with these scientific names. For providing the scientific names, we will deal two systems here. One is binomial nomenclature and another one is trinomial nomenclature. So providing these scientific names, I am going to deal with two systems. One, binomial nomenclature. Second, trinomial one. So let's first start with the binomial nomenclature. Before dealing with the application of binomial nomenclature, I will cite the name of certain scientists who are associated with it. If I will ask one question here, who has proposed binomial nomenclature? Then what you will say? What is the name of the scientist? So most of you will say Carolus Linnaeus. But please correct it. The proposal of binomial nomenclature, it was not given by Linnaeus, it was given by Caspar Bohin. Right? Proposal was given by scientist, that is Caspar Bohin. Caspar Bohin gave the proposal in a book. Yes, in a book, that is Pinex, in the year 1623, right? So who gave the proposal of binomial nomenclature? It is not Linnaeus, it is Caspar Bohin. Proposal was given by Caspar Bohin, but the complete rules and regulation, principles, how to utilize the binomial nomenclature, this was done by Carolus Linnaeus. Due to this contribution towards the taxonomy, Carolus Linnaeus is also known as father of taxonomy. So after this, principles, they were given by Carolus Linnaeus in the book Philosophica Botanica, in year 1751. Now, in this book, Philosophica Botanica, Linnaeus gave only the principle. He has not utilized the binomial nomenclature for naming of the organism. So, in this book, only principles they were given. Usage was not there in this book. First usage of binomial nomenclature by Carolus Linnaeus was in the book Species Plantarum. Species Plantarum in the year 1753, and in this book he named 5,900 plant species. Yes. So many species, they were described for the first time in the book Species Plantarum. Now the second usage. Second usage by the Carolus Linnaeus. Now it is in the book that is Systema Naturae. Systema Naturae in the year 1758. And here he described 4326 animal species. Okay. So this is about the contribution of the scientists towards binomial nomenclature. Now you see here, before 1753, names they were given to the organisms. Yes, naming of the organism was there, but those names were given, they were not given on the basis of binomial nomenclature. So all those names which are not based upon binomial nomenclature, they are invalid names. They are not correct names. So it means you can say first valid publication for the plants was in the year 1753, right? First valid publication for plants. Similarly, same condition is here also. First valid publication for animals was in the year 1758, and the names which were given prior to it, all those names, they are invalid name. So this is first valid publication for animals. Got this? Now, the rules and regulations, principles which were given by the Carolus Linnaeus, he gave in which group? Which book? Philosophica Botanica. The rules which he gave in Philosophica Botanica, now these rules were modified. Yes, these rules were modified, they were revised, and now they are placed under the codes. And today there are 5 codes which deals with standardization of scientific names. So let's see what are these codes and how these 5 codes they deal with the standardization. So rules which were given by the Linnaeus in the book Philosophica Botanica, these rules were revised, they were modified, And after that, these rules, they were placed in codes. And these codes now they are utilized for standardization of names. So here we are going to deal with 5 codes for standardization of names. Yes. So now these 5 codes, we are going to write it down here. We will be writing down here. 1. For naming of plants, the principles which are used, these principles, they are placed inside the code, that is ICBN. Yes, can you tell me the full form? It is International Code for Botanical Nomenclature. International Code of Botanical Nomenclature. For naming of cultivated plants, now this code is not utilized. There is utilization of different code. For cultivated plants, different code is utilized, that is ICNCP. Yes, ICNCP, that is International Code for Nomenclature of Cultivated Plants. Yes, write it yourself. International Code for Nomenclature of Cultivated Plants. Yes. Now for naming of animals. For the naming of animals, the code which is utilized, that is ICZN. Yes. Can you tell me what is the full form for this? International Code for Nomenclature for Zoological Nomenclature. International Code for Zoological Nomenclature. Next one, for bacteria. Yes, for naming of bacteria, different code is utilized, that is ICNB. That is International Code for Nomenclature of Bacteria. Got this? ICBN is for plants and ICNB is for bacteria. The last one, 5th one, that is ICTV. ICTV. So you can guess ICTV is for naming of viruses. Yes, it is for naming of viruses. What is the full form here? Now it is International Committee. Please write it down. International Committee for Taxonomy of Viruses. Taxonomy of viruses. Got this? So these are the 5 codes. Now if I will ask one question here, among these 5 codes, how many codes they are associated for naming of eukaryotic organism? Then what you will say? Yes, eukaryotic organism. How many codes? This one, plant, cultivated plants and animals. Yes, these 3, they are for eukaryotic organism. Right? Bacteria. Bacteria is prokaryote. ICTV, this is for viruses, and viruses, they are at the borderline of living and non-living. Right? Now we have to discuss the binomial nomenclature. The rules of binomial nomenclature here. So now we will study rules under binomial nomenclature. there are 76 main rules which are set out as articles. Binomial nomenclature. Under binomial nomenclature, there are 76 main rules. These 76 main rules, they are also set out as articles. But here we are not going to discuss all of them. We are going to deal only with the few important ones. Now to explain binomial nomenclature, I will cite example of mango. Yes, can you tell me what is the scientific name for mango? Scientific name is Mangifera indica. Mangifera indica. This is binomial name. As the name suggests, binomial name, the name of organism is going to consist of two words. It consists of two components. Two components are there in the binomial name. Among these two components, this is the first one. The first component, it is known as generic name. Generic name. This is second component. This second component is known as species epithet. Always first letter of generic name, it is written in capitals. Yes. First letter is always in caps. It is in capital. The first letter of species epithet, this is always in small caps. Whenever this scientific name is handwritten, it is always underlined. Yes, the two components of the scientific name, they are separately underlined. Whenever handwritten, the two components, they are underlined separately. And whenever the scientific name is printed, yes, when it is printed in italics. Got this? Now, number of letters in each word. There is a limit to number of letters in each word. Can you tell me what is the minimum and maximum limit of letters in each word? Minimum limit is 3. Minimum number of letters which can be present in generic and species epithet is 3. And what is the maximum one? Maximum number of letters which can be present, that is 12. Minimum 3, maximum 12. I am citing one example here for the minimum one. The name of the organism is poa. It is a grass. This is a generic name. First component, poa. So for the minimum, the example is poa. And now you have to find what is the example for maximum limit. Which name is going to have maximum number of letters, that is 12. So what was this? Generic name. This one, species epithet. After the biological name, now the name of scientist, name of author is written. Who has described this species? Yes, who has described Mangifera indica? That is Linnaeus. So after the biological name, now the name of scientist. Name of scientist always written in abbreviated form. Like for Linnaeus, you will write Lin. Scientist name, author name is always written in abbreviated form. And the name of author is never underlined and never italicized. So after biological name, after biological name, what you have to write? Name of author. Author's name is written in short form, abbreviated form. Like for Linnaeus, you will utilize Lin. And this name is never underlined and never italicized. It is always written in Romans. Got this? Now, in the binomial nomenclature, now we are going to deal with one of the important rule, one of the most important one, that is principle of priority or rule of priority. Now, principle of priority. To explain principle of priority, I will cite one example here. Example of fungi. For a fungi, two valid names they were given. Yes, for a single fungi, for a single organism, two names they were given. One is Albugo candida and the another one is Cystopus candidus. Now, among these two names, which name is correct name? Yes, how we will decide which name is correct one? Out of the two names, the name which is given first, the name which is given prior, that name is correct name, and the rest of the names which might be present, they are going to represent synonym. Yes, you are getting that? Among these two names, which one is correct? The name which was given first is correct name, and rest of the names, they are going to represent synonyms. So among these two names, this name was given first. It was given prior. The name which is priorly given, this is correct name. And the name, rest of the names, they are going to represent synonyms. You got this? So according to the principle of the priority, if more than one valid name are there for organism, so which one is correct? The one which was given first. This one is correct name. The name which was given laterly, this is going to represent synonym. Right? Now, after looking into the rules of binomial nomenclature, now we are going to deal with trinomial one. Trinomial nomenclature, it was given by Lamarck. Now, as the name suggests trinomial, as the term suggests trinomial, now the name of organism consists of three words. Three components are there. First component, same generic name. Second component, same species epithet. And now the third component which is added. Third one, that is subspecies for animals. Write A for animals and variety for plants. So in the trinomial nomenclature, each name will consist of 3 components. Yes. So one example we can cite here, few examples we can cite here. Example here is name of Indian crow. Yes, scientific name of Indian crow, that is Corvus splendens. Splendens. Yes, you got this. First component, generic name. Second, species epithet. Third, subspecies in the case of animals. Second is gorilla. Gorilla, the scientific name is gorilla. 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 This example suggests that the scientific name as well as the common name of organism, they can be same. One name for the plant we can write, that is cabbage. Scientific name is Brassica oleracea. Variety, yes, for the plant. Now it is variety, that is capitata. Right? So now you can see here that in this Indian crow, you can see the scientific name. What is this? Species epithet. What is this? Subspecies epithet. And you can see the species and subspecies epithet, they are same. When the species and subspecies epithet, they are same, such type of names, they are known as autonyms. Species and subspecies epithet, they are same. This is going to represent autonym. Subspecies, or it can be even variety. Right? Autonyms, they are valid both in zoological as well as botanical nomenclature. Valid for botanical as well as geological nomenclature. Right? Next one now, tautonym. Now in this name you can see it is autonym surely because species and subspecies epithet are same, but along with that you can see genus and species epithet, they are also same. When the genus and species epithet, they are same, such type of the names, they are known as tautonym. Genus and species epithet same, then tautonym. So it means gorilla, gorilla, gorilla is both auto as well as tauto. Now here is one change, that these names, they are valid for zoological nomenclature. Yes, they are valid for zoological nomenclature, but invalid in botanical nomenclature. They are not utilized by the botanists. They are not utilized in botanical nomenclature. The last category here, homonym. What is homonym? Homonym is when one name is given for two different species. एक नाम दो डिफरेंट स्पीशीज के लिए, दो डिफरेंट ऑर्गेनिजम्स के लिए. वन एग्जाम्पल फॉर दिस इज prunus, dulcis. Prunus dulcis, scientific name. Earlier it was given both for the almond as well as plum. Surely one name cannot be utilized for two different plants, two different living types, so these names, they are invalid. Surely they are invalid both in the botanical as well as zoological nomenclature. They are not valid both in the botanical as well as zoological nomenclature. So now what is done? What has been done? Now this name Prunus dulcis, it is booked for almond. Almond को ये नाम दे दिया Prunus dulcis, and the name of plum has been changed. It is known as Prunus domestica. Got this? So now this name is booked for almond, and for the plum, the new name which was generated, which was provided, that is Prunus domestica. So this is clear. So here we have studied synonym, autonym, tautonym and homonym. Now after the nomenclature, binomial and terminal, now we are going to study taxonomic hierarchy, right?